episode of What's for Dinner. Tonight we're going to use our electric pressure cooker once again and make a really quick Italian chicken stew. Now, this is one of those days where I was on my way home thinking, I have some chicken in the fridge, needs to be used, what am I going to make with it? So we're going to throw this together. This is kind of loosely based on a chicken dish my mom used to make. She'd just throw everything in a casserole and put it in the oven. And you can do that too, it's just going to take significantly longer to cook. But let me show you what goes into this. I've got one package which was about 2 pounds of chicken breasts, and I have cut them into rather large chunks. I've got 1 pint of my home canned tomatoes and 1 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes because I'm being stingy with the canned tomatoes that I have on hand. We're going to put some garlic in here, half of a very large onion. I'll show you, this is one of those onions that was as big as, you know, somebody's head. And about a cup of those frozen pepper slices and about a cup of fresh chopped celery. And then later, after we cook all this stuff, I'm going to take the lid off and we're going to put some frozen yellow squash in there just to round out the dish. To season it up, I'm going to use oregano, Italian seasoning, a couple of bay leaves, and some basil. So let's get going. I'll just bring this right here. And we put our chicken in.
Now, for people who don't have a pressure cooker, can they do it in the crock pot all day?
They could do it in the crock pot all day. In fact, that would be a fabulous application. And like I said, throw it all in a casserole dish and put it in the oven. But you might want to add a little more liquid if you're going to do that. Okay. Let's add some garlic. That's probably 2 cloves worth. We're not being picky. In goes our tomatoes. And I think I'm going to add a jar of water. So that's a pint of home canned tomatoes, a can of diced tomatoes, and those were really good diced tomatoes. They weren't the cheap store kind because I was able to get the imported Roma tomato dices on sale for $1 a can. And this is 2 cups of water because a pint is 2 cups. And I'll move this back over here. Let's see. That's about a teaspoon of oregano. The same of Italian seasoning. Throw in a couple of bay leaves and about a teaspoon of basil. That smells good. Alright, the only other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give this a stir. And I'm not going to salt this until after it's finished cooking because when you pressure cook, all your flavors intensify and all that salt is just going to get sopped up into the meat, and you don't want to do that quite yet. Okay, that looks really good. And trying to see here. This is my water level. I can't go above that line. So we're good. I'm going to stick it in there. I'm going to put the lid on it. I'm going to make sure that the pressure gauge is on pressure. I'm going to come down here and set my timer. Function, meat, and I believe I'm going to leave it at 20 minutes. So, I think I'm going to up it to 25. We'll go from there, and this will start counting down once the vessel comes up to pressure. After it's done cooking, I'll come back. We're going to serve this. I haven't decided yet. Maybe rice, maybe noodles, I'm not sure. So when we come back, we'll fix you a plate of this delicious, quick, pressurized meal, and I'm going to go outside and fertilize my garden right now. So we'll be back soon. We're back, and our 20 minutes is up. I had time to go out in the garden and fertilize everything. This is still venting just a little bit. It's going to stop in just a second. And you don't want to do it any sooner than when it's finished venting, because I've had a couple of eruptions that are just horrible to clean up.
Because she's impatient.
Yes, I am impatient. I want it now. Just like Veruca Salt.
Does that song go?
Give it to me now. Okay, see, it comes off easy.
You should do that for your
Oh, yeah.
song.
Okay, see, doesn't that look delicious? It smells fabulous. And, you know, it does look a little soupy, but this is a stew. And we are going to serve it, oops, sorry honey. We're going to serve it over some elbow macaroni. I have that water boiling right now. And these are just some sliced yellow squash, because I have them in the freezer and I'm trying to use up some things that need to be used. So we're going to put about half of that in there. I'm just going to stir it in. This pressure cooker has a function when the cooking time is over and the timer has gone down to 0, it stays continually on a warm setting. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually leave the lid off, let some of that water evaporate out of there a little. It's not going to reduce very much, but in the time that it takes for me to make the macaroni, it's going to come down to an edible temperature, because this is smoking hot right now. You don't want to eat it. But having put the frozen veggies in there is going to help that temperature come down as well. And it's going to be ready as soon as our macaroni's ready. And as soon as that happens, I'm going to come back and I'm going to fix you a bowl of Italian chicken stew and elbow macaroni. So we'll be back soon.